First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Wavikak Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught me this truth, and including the bishops under them as well. And it's your brother Laban, Shalom to the elect overall. So what I want to do is I want to give my take on this House of David Prime video, which is about to be out this month around the 27th. And the first thing that I want to do is begin it with a scripture. First Maccabees 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. And that begun around the Renaissance period, when you had people like Cristobal Colon, the sixth Pope of Rome, which his name is Alexander, and the Borgia family. And they were really there to state their claim that we, the Edomites, are back in power. Hence, it's called the Renaissance. The term Renaissance means rebirth. So, of course, the dark art that they saw where they were at, they defaced them and turned them into so-called white people. As you have the term whitewashing or iconoclasm, which the word iconoclasm means the destroying of the images. And they had to do all of that so that that message can get out to the darker races of people that they were going to later conquer. And so that they believe that they are the people of divinity. They are the people of the Bible. They are the Israelites. Okay? And so what these Amalekites are doing right now is they're continuing on that same tradition. Now it's by movies. And who controls all of these? It's the 1948ers. So, of course, they're going to keep reinforcing this false image of them being the people of the Most High. Because what they need to do is they need to remind even future generations that they are the people of the Bible, when in fact we know damn well and right, as well as they know damn well and right, that they're not the people of the Bible, but the so-called Negro and Latino Native American is instead. And why would I say they know? Because they have the historical documentation more than we've even come to discover. They have all of the relics. They have the statues that they have destroyed by their noses, or in some cases they would flatten the face of the statue. Like, case in point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an image of King David. And if you can bypass the destruction of the images, you can clearly see that that looks like a so-called Negro male with very prominent features. Okay? That's what you're going to see. And you have this this painting, which goes back to Italy around the 1400s, if I'm correct, of King David with the hat on his head, as you can see as well. And then they have a statue in Israel where he's he got the he has the what's it called, man? He has the lyre in his hand. The harp. There you go, the harp. He has the harp in his hand. And when I first saw that picture for the very first time, I was reminded of my father, because my father, he has those quite similar features, the way his head looks, his eyes, and stuff like that. So it's clear that they very well know that the people of whom the Bible declares to be the Israelites are of so-called Negroid descent. They know this very well. They've been known as ever since they've conquered us. Do you really think Esau don't have the information? They have the information, man, but they want to put it out there like they have the information that, oh yeah, well, it's so-called white peoples and everybody else is so-called white, by the way. That's what they used to always say back in the day. Back years and years ago, there was this notion that Ham, Shem, and Japheth and everybody that is of the Bible of every nation is so-called white people. That was going strong back in the what is it, the 20th century. We see people are wising up now, and even ourselves have wising up greatly because it is truth. We were able to bypass these lies and see right through the BS. Okay? This is where we're at right now. And the reason why we're here, because this man is about to be out of power real soon. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. What is it? I'll start with verse 3. Let no man deceive you, but the point is in verse 4. By any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that's just where we are at right now. This devil is being revealed first by the prophets and then by other people, declaring other things. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he is as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's what they wanted to be. They wanted to be worshipped as the power. And they still want to be acknowledged and worshipped. That's why they keep reinforcing this lie that they are the King Davids. They are the Samuels. They are the various prophets of the Old Testament. They're the Messiah and stuff. And so that it confirms another line that they are the JOOs that they say that they are. Okay, being that they control mainstream media and everything that relates to mainstream media. They control it. Okay, so this is to be expected. Especially if you dwell in the West. You need to be told that they are the people. All right? So what I want to do is read. What I could also do is read verse 8. Verse 8 is pretty good. No, verse 7, I'll begin right there. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way, which is the Lord. The Lord is allowing him to lie and to do what he's doing until he be taken out the way. And verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Who is the spirit of his mouth? We are, because we're declaring the truth to his face. All right? And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So after the truth has been revealed as to who this nigga really is, then the Lord is going to come and make his second return. Okay? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And with these lies, this is another way of how he speaks against the Most High, by saying that he is God. And if you look up that word opposive, which, of course, the word oppose, which means to fight, as it is also written in the scriptures too, where it says, woe unto him that striveth against his maker. So when you deface the images and put your face on it, that's a direct shot at the Most High when you do this. All of these lies that Esau has been perpetrating for all these years is a direct shot at the Most High. So yeah, it's offensive to us, but it's very well offensive to the Most High. And this is another thing that Esau has to pay for. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to move somewhere else. And we're gonna get another scripture. This is Job 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. And if not, where and who is he? He's in the power seat right now. And he did so much covering up that people are under that covering cast. Now in Brazil, you have this image of, as they call it, Jesus Cristo. Actually in Brazil, they speak Portuguese. But they have that same statue. And even in Nigeria, they have that same statue over there too. So Esau has done a very good job putting people under this cast of lies to believe in white supremacy. And that's really what it is. It's white supremacy. When you look at religion and as well as even evolution, there's white supremacy and all of that. And the reason why they use white supremacy, and this is just my personal opinion, I believe it wasn't really to put the supremacy in regular white folk. It was really to put the supremacy on them so-called JWOs. That's just my personal thing. Because they're the main ones that want to remain in the position to be supreme. I'm just saying. So what I want to do is I want to get some color scriptures that I have on deck. I have Daniel's, what is it, 10, and I'll begin by reading verse probably 3. Actually, verse 4, we'll begin right there. Verse 3 is going somewhere else. And in the 24th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up my eye, which is one of those 4 rivers. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins was girded with fine gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, in other words, green, and his face as the appearance of lightning. As the scripture says, wisdom maketh a man's face to shine, and his eyes as the lamps of fire, meaning they were red, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. What is brass? Brass is a brown metal. We all know this. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude, which this is referring to Yahweh Shai, because Revelations 1 and I think it's 14 says this as well. Okay, where it actually says that he had the voice of many waters. Okay, so that's one. So matter of fact, let me go and pull that out as well, man. Revelations 1 and verse 14. I ain't read this in years. Oh man. So here we have it right here. Yeah, we used to always pull the scripture out, man. This is Revelations 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, and the 7 candlesticks represents the 7 churches, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle, the 7 churches of Asia Minor. His heads and his hairs were white like wool. So they were white and wool in texture, as white as snow, and his eyes were as the flame of fire. His eyes were red. That's what it means. His eyes was as the flame of fire. His eyes was red because he tarried at the wine. Okay? Proverbs tells you that as well. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So he was a dark-skinned man. All right? So it was quite similar to what Daniel saw. Daniel saw the same man, but he saw him dressed in a green garment. That's why this reads, his body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, meaning he had a glow on his face. And his eyes as the lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polish brass. So the Lord had, of course, a brown body. He didn't have a two-tone body. One part of his body was like an Edomite, and the other part of his body was like an Israelite. That's bullshit. The Lord was a dark-skinned man. Ain't nobody looking like that on the earth. And even when he was on the earth, he never looked like that. And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. So there we go. So now let's even go get Daniel's 7 and 9. I beheld to the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, and his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels is burning fire. So this is referring to the Most High now, the Creator, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So then that would then tell that the Most High is a so-called black man. The Messiah is a so-called black man. So wouldn't that make the people of the Most High, the children of Israel, so-called people of color? Yes, it would. So where are they getting this from? Oh, I get it. What they're trying to do is they're trying to reinforce the lie that they're the people of the Bible, and really what they're doing is that they're continuing on with the same traditions that the Renaissance individuals have done. That's what they're doing. They're continuing on with the whitewashing of those people that are indeed the Israelites and put themselves as the Israelites. That's what this is all about. Oh yeah, let me read this scripture as well in the book of man, it's Lamentations, right? Lamentations, I think it's 5. Lamentations 5. Yeah, we have it right here. So this is the book of Lamentations 5 and verse 1. Just to read it correctly, I'll begin here. Remember, O Lord, this is Jeremiah crying and shedding tears for the children of Israel. What is come upon us? Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens, because they were under the Babylonians at the time. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows, and that's what's happening right now too. And we have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. Again, that's the state of affairs of our people today. We have given the hands to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us, and there is none that doeth deliver us out of out of their hand, which goes into what is it, Deuteronomy 28, and no, actually 68 refers to the transatlantic slave trade and enslavement that we're going through right now. All right. We get our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. And here's the point: our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. So when our people are going through severely terrible times or they're sick, like case in point, we have a brother, that has a certain sickness, and because of his sickness, he's darker than usual. Okay, just to convey the point. All right, that's what happens to so-called black people when we're under an intense kind of sort of hell, whether it's a disease or whether we're severely hungry, as this is written. Our skin changes from one tone to another tone. We get darker. We don't get redder. We get darker. All right. So the Jews of the Bible, the Israelites, are dark skinned people. So there you go. And I want to get another scripture as well concerning what Solomon said of himself. Yeah, Songs of Solomon 1 and verse 5. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. And look not upon me because I am black, because the sun have looked upon me, and my mother's children were angry with me, and they made me the keeper of the vineyard, but my own vineyard have I not kept. So there it is. So Solomon considered himself, look not upon me because I am black. So now when you look up that word black, the word will be Kedar. See, I think they might have changed it, man. They changed it. I was going off when I said that. No, they actually are right. Because I do remember that you have two Hebrew words. You have the word Kedar, and then you also have the word Shakar. Right? So the term Shakar, as they have here, to be black of skin. A primitive root identical with H7836 through the idea of the duskiness of early dawn, to be dimmed or dark in color, be black of skin. So in this case, we know that Solomon was black of skin. He was a dark-skinned man. And let's substantiate, because what tribe did Solomon come out of? He came out of the tribe of Judah, from the loins of King David. Okay? So now let's go and get Jeremiah. Very basic point. In Jeremiah 14:2, 14 and 2, Salakia. 14 and 2. Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah, yeah, I was going to say Judah 14 and 1. Jeremiah 14 and 1. The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning the dearth. Judah mourneth, and the gates there are language. What does it mean that the gates there are language? Meaning we don't have no power to defend, because the power was by the gate. The leaders of the people, or the power of the people, were by the gates. All right. So we don't have that. We don't have any power. The scripture says that no might will be found in thine hand. Judah mourneth, and the gates there are languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. So that's literal, and it's also metaphorical too, because we are in a state of blackness. But the key point is that they are black onto the ground. So if you look at the soil of the ground, the soil is usually dark. Okay, there's no such thing as white soil where Edomites came from. Okay, the reason why the Edomites look the way that they look, because that goes back to the curse of Cain. So when Cain brought forth his offsprings later on, the children of Cain retained that curse, which is the curse of having leprosy, covering their whole entire skin, which would then that would make them a clean leper, according to the law on leprosy. All right. So that's just the thing. So anyone that's bearing that translucent skin, they're the Edomites that the Bible speaks about. Now, I'm not going to say all, because you do have all people that look like Edomites, but there are people. Again, they're Israelites. Okay? Due to the period of time of mixing. So yeah, there you go right there. Judah mourneth, and the gates there are languish. They are black onto the ground. And if you look at the ground is always dark brown looking. So that's all I got to say with that. Yeah. So I've said what I had to say on this. I'm gonna end this lesson now through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai Shai. And Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson as well. Because we used to go into stuff like this a while back ago, but we probably need to get back into the spirit of touching on the icons and the various things of that nature. So yeah. I'm out. Shalom.